Kyla Oldacre coming off the bench. And for the Oregon Ducks, obviously Fiso is the star, but Jacobs is a double-digit scorer. Itute is as well. And Texas has the basketball for their first crack at it tonight.
The Texas team comes in averaging 85 points a game, and Vic Schaefer will be the first to tell you this is his best offensive team. Not quite what they've been in the past. Defensively, still top 10 in the country.
Well, so much of any success that the Ducks have tonight revolves around Fiso, who just gave it up and got it back at the head of the key. A dynamic player. Larry Long, a three-point threat with the shot clock down to 9. She fumbled that one. It is going to be...
This is an Oregon team, though. If they can punch the paint, they do shoot the ball well from that three-point line, making about 7 a game. And Vic Schaefer is very clear with his team. We do not want to get into a horse contest with Oregon.
Oregon does not mind if the game comes down to the last couple of possessions. They'd actually be thrilled as Bell knocks it down.
That's what you're fearful of when you're playing Oregon. Multiple kids can really shoot that ball from the perimeter, the long twos, the deep threes, and now you see Oregon first look in this 3-2 zone.
Texas only 3 losses all season long. They have been dominant. They average 85 points a game, deflected out of playoff long, and actually beat UCLA and South Carolina on back-to-back days early in the season. They had UCLA down 21 in that game.
They sure did. And it's a Texas team that can absolutely win the entire thing in Phoenix, but they got to get past this Oregon team to stay on that journey. And there's that mid-range game again from Madison Booker.
This crowd used to her getting that first basket so they can sit down. And a foul here at 8:48 to go here in the first quarter. This is Booker's game. A lot more 2s than 3s.
Yeah, she's going to have the green light to kind of roam against this Oregon defense. And you try to shortcut. She's so good at reading the defense. The defense went high. She just sinks off to that short corner area. Just a star person. Look at those mid-range jump shots. 135 made on the year. No one better.
And so smooth. Oregon able to get it inside, around and in for Mia Jacobs, who the other day hit the floor hard, cut her chin. She's playing with 3 stitches, but had a big smile on her face, the kid from Australia, as we were watching her practice today. We'll follow away. Madison Booker off to a quick start. And the theft by Harmon. Back outside for a long one, around and out off target. Jordan Lee so good the other day with 19. Spinning it up and in is Justice Carlton.
That will be a challenge for Oregon the entire game, OP. Do they have the physicality to hang with Texas on the glass?
Carlton averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds a game for Vic Schaefer. Rolling inside. That's going to be a blocking foul before the shot. Before Itute got it up there, but she takes the hit.
Well, Vic Schaefer's got a club that they set the rules of the game when they start, and it's normally pound that ball inside and get on that offensive glass. And multiple kids can do it. That time it was Justice Carlton and playing out of that power forward spot. Bria Cunningham starts at center. Kyla Oldacre comes in at 6'6". Powerful front line for Vic Schaefer.
Jordan Lee with the personal. And Itute with an opportunity for a 3-point play. She had 11 points, 11 rebounds on Friday. And puts Oregon in front.
Oregon has been able to get their defense set early in this game, running good offense, not turning it over. Those black jerseys are not going to come outside this 3-point line.
Lee trying to gain an edge. It's back off for Harmon, one of the great assist makers in the game, but a misfiring close. Frankly, Jimmy, probably the best start Oregon could have hoped for.
I just think Oregon is built defensively, OB, to make it tough on Texas. They don't have a lot of heavy ball pressure. Got a lot of length and shooters, again, 1 through 5 on this Oregon team.
Jacobs nails the 3. The senior from Perth, Australia, which we found out today is the most remote city in the world. If you're trying to get there, it's going to take you a little while. Booker. Not that time. Rebounded away by Texas, and now taken away by Oregon.
Could not have a better start if you're a Ducks fan. Running good offense. The defensive game plan early, spot on.
Fiso gives it up for Long. She'll back it away. A 10-6 lead, a little 6-0 run. That won't touch a thing, and out it goes. But that shot aside, a Terrific start for the Ducks, the number 8 seed. This is what happened to Mia Jacobs yesterday. It was on this play. Wound up hitting her chin, opening up a cut. Still all smiles after that. You gotta love that bravery from the Australian.
She leads this Oregon team. 62 made threes on the year, now 63.
Lee trying to get a shot. Got it. Tough shot. Made it. Up top for Fiso. So far, quiet start for the sophomore. She'll launch this one and knock it down, getting a little noisy there.
Yeah, I hear you're quiet. I'll raise your quiet. She is such a tough cover, especially off the bounce. Talking about 2 in black.
Jen, thank you very much. A scintillating start to this one in Austin, Texas. The Longhorns, the top seed here, where they have won 43 consecutive home games. They are getting an early test by the 8th seed, the Oregon Ducks, who until that one had gone 5 for their last 6, a turnover. Jordan Lee had a big game on Friday with 19. The officials kind of letting them play. And coming out of the pack with it, the Oregon Ducks. And Jimmy Dykes off to a really good start as Katie Fiso gets it outside. Dari Long for a miss.
We now have 5 teams that have already advanced to the Sweet 16. The winner of this one would be the 6th one. And Vic Schaefer knows he's in a challenge today. Look at these guys in black. They're all staying inside that 3-point line. A lot of length. They don't gamble, but this is the type of defense that can cause Texas problems.
So there's your 3-time All-American Madison Booker, who pulls Texas to it in one. She already has 8 points. She's hunting her shot a lot more than she did on Friday, when she had 14 in the victory over Virginia Tech.
Now, Madison Booker only takes 13 shots a game. It might need to be 16 or 17 going down this NCAA path.
All-American Rory Harmon trying to get inside. Draws the foul and hits the deck.
Absolutely. It is one thing when you're up against a young lady that's trying to extend the season. It's another one you're up against a young lady that's trying to extend her career, and that's exactly where we are with Rory Harmon. Vic Schaefer's first recruit to Texas, a building block behind this Texas Longhorn build back under Coach Schaefer. Man, is she tough. She gets the logo. Good things happen for Texas. That little fadeaway takes the hit, and watch it drop. Oregon, they're going to have their hands full with Rory Harmon on both hanging in the rafters here. Kevin Durant, there'll be another one when Madison Booker is done. That's how good she is. And this is a Texas team. They're a #1 seed OB, and they have a chance to stay in the state of Texas all the way through until they would advance to the Final Four. They would be challenged by a good Oregon team because of that young lady right there is so fast. Talking about Katie Fiso from Oregon. A Jet.
At 22 in round 1, she was 9 for 12 shooting it, and she is the Jet for the Oregon Ducks.
If you look at that Oregon defense, they are not going to come outside that 3-point line. Texas only makes 4 threes per game.
Harmon working against that zone. Shot clock down to 9 for the Longhorns. Sidbury getting inside, and the 6'1" senior with a bucket.
Good job not to settle for a 14-footer. Take up the slack in the defense, hit the little runner. But if you're Oregon, you're living with those shots right now, making Texas make some tough twos.
Vic Schaefer's team 19-0 at home this year. They are looking for a school record in consecutive wins. He has the jacket off very early in this game. That is a sign for Texas fans that there's some things he might not be thrilled with right now. Shot clock down to 5. Jacobs off the fake, got to get a shot in the air, and deflected out of play with 1 on the shot clock.
Texas has forced 35-second violations this year with their defense. Leads Division I 26 times this year. They've held opponents to 9 points or less in a quarter. I've coached against Vic Schaefer, and you expect one thing. They're going to hard pressure that ball, no face cuts. They all box off. They talk early on ball screen coverage.
Well, let's see what Oregon can do with 1 second on the shot clock. And it's going to be knocked away, and a steal for Texas.
Watch
here's
out.
Booker all the way down. Scoops it up and in.
She is just something special, Madison Booker. A special talent and a special young lady. That joy, that smile she plays with has just captured this Austin community 100%. And man, is she tough. We talked about the hot hands of Roy Harmon. It comes up with it right there, the all-time steals leader. And watch Madison Booker under control. The eyes are up, reading the defense, wear the black jersey. Bam, takes the hit. In the running for the National Player of the Year, rightfully so.
Fouled on the play and at the line where she makes 86%. Fouled by Jacobs. And so Texas opens it up a little bit.
A Texas face guard pressure after a made free throw. At times it's their oxygen. They can just wear you down. Relentless.
Under 3 to go. First quarter in Austin. Viso jumps inside for the basket.
She is outstanding. Over 200 made twos this year. 91 made free throws. She's just a flat-out baller is what she is, especially going downhill with that right hand.
She had a game against Oregon State. She had 23 points, but also 14 assists. She is a gifted passer. She and Harmon, what a battle tonight at the point guard spots. Booker will line it up, and nothing but net from three-point land.
Yeah, maybe got away with a walk into that travel of the release of the ball, but regardless, Madison Booker now 22 made threes on the year. Doesn't rely heavily on it, but man, it looks good coming off of her wrist.
She is off to a great start and taken away by Sidbury. They've got numbers. Lee will lay it in. Well, Kelly Graves looking up at the clock. One almost got away there. He's only got 2 minutes before the end of the quarter, but Texas suddenly opens it up 25-17. And a tough drive and up and in again. And an outstanding play by Sarah Rambis and a shot they really needed.
That was a great job. Not a good job, a great job by Rambis with the pressure in the building to drive that thing downhill. Boy, Texas can get out and run. And Jordan Lee has electric speed as well. She's a terrific shooter, but a great athlete. And there it is, man. The building is hot. Oregon's feeling pressure. They don't do anything crazy with it. Get the ball in the middle third. Drive it downhill. Really well done by Sarah Rambis.
Jordan Lee goes to the bench with her second foul for Texas. She was their point-scoring star in round one here.
Well, Obi, that's a big hit to Texas, and I'll tell you why. Texas, like I said, they're only making 4 3-point shots per game. Jordan Lee leads them with 67 made threes. That team in black defensively right now can continue to shrink the court and put multiple bodies inside that lane area.
Booker up the floor, the number 35, no accidents. The other night she was wearing Kevin Durant's shoes as well. Here's Sidbury. Man, what a lift off the bench.
I just felt like Vic Schaefer might go to her early today in the shoot-around. Young lady's made 37% of her three-point shots, and known they're going to get some good looks against that Oregon zone.
Longhorns suddenly can't miss. 7 for their last 7. Harmon hitting the deck. And a call for the tie-up. They'll keep it on this end. It'll be Oregon ball. 28-19 Texas.
When Texas makes threes, I'm not talking about double figures threes. I'm talking about 6 or 7 a game. They can beat anyone in this women's NCAA tournament. They are that good in the 2-point part of the floor, and there they are. That number right there is crazy low. Man, if they make threes, they can beat anyone.
Boy, tough shot by Atute. Going one-on-one with the 6'6" Oldacre, made the bucket.
She actually has a younger sister, Isi, that has committed to play for Texas next year. About an inch taller.
Harmon back off for guess who? Booker couldn't hit that one. And now Oregon trying to cut in a little bit in the final seconds of the first quarter. The swing for Bell. And thrown away, and a wild pass by Rambis.
That needed to be a no possession turnover for Oregon, and they couldn't get it done.
Kelly Graves telling us when they don't play well, it's usually turnovers for Oregon. And some costly ones. So Harmon will set it up. 5-second difference between a game and a shot clock. As we come down the stretch of the first quarter in Austin, Texas.
And you keep Texas off the glass right now in this situation. Always a big part of it.
Harmon gets a mid-range. Got a good look. Opportunity for a heave here by Atute. If not a drive all the way. fires it up, and it won't go. And that's how the first quarter comes to an end.
Well, Oregon avoided the knockout punch, which you have to in the first quarter of this ball game. The career leader right there, man, just none better. And Vic Schaefer has had a lot of great point guards. She's the best.
And she can see clearly and well, and she's well balanced, and she's moved into the top 10 in all-time assists in NCAA Division I as Madison Booker has drawn the foul and will head to the line. Underway in the second quarter. Texas by 7. The foul by Etute. So Booker, any discussion about the best players in the game? Well, she's right near the top. 2025 SEC, 2024 Big 12 Player of the Year, 3-time All-American on the Wade and Naismith award candidate lists. Just won the MVP of the SEC tournament.
Right there with Lauren Betts from UCLA, Sarah Strong from UConn, Michaela Blake from Vanderbilt, who I think should be the National Player of the Year. Leads the country in scoring right now. Had 31 again yesterday for Vanderbilt. Sarah Strong's going to get a lot of consideration, rightfully so. That UConn brand and history of greats is kind of hard to knock off that top line, it seems like. But boy, those are four that you go to war with any time if you're a coach.
Etute grabbing the rebound as they reload, and they go 0 for 2. A win, and Texas advances to the Sweet 16, and they head 3 hours north to Fort Worth for the next round. So they have an opportunity with 4 wins to start the tournament to go to the Final Four without leaving the state of Texas. Fiso will knock it down.
What a shot by Fiso. First of all, to get by Rory Harmon is not easy to do. And then to go right at the size of Texas on the interior, a little sidestep to get off the pressure. Man, is she a tough cover.
Sidbury will give it up to Booker. She's also an outstanding passer. She's number 2 on the team in assists. Here's Crump to fire, but too strong. And Texas one and done on that possession.
Texas has taken a ton of mid-range jump shots in this game. I know that's what they like to do, but that Oregon defense did a good job of keeping the court sized down. Good cut.
Kane, had a bunny, got it back, made that one.
Gotta make them right. So hard to get the ball at the rim clean at this level. Avery Kane. Interesting, 3 out of every 4 attempts on the year from her from the three-point line, but showed a knack and a nose right there to make a good back cut and burn that pressure off.
Out of Santa Maria, California. Texas, another mid-range shot. That adds to the total. Couple more for Booker, so 12 total mid-range shots, and is 7 for 12.
Madison Booker grew up, her dad made her take mid-range shots. Form shooting, didn't let her get out to that three-point line and start launching shots, and it has certainly paid off. There's none better at planting those feet, powering up in that 15-foot pull-up than Madison Booker.
Fiso looking for an opening. 5 to get off a shot. Gives it up for Etute. That's too strong. Rebound tip control by the Longhorns. We have 14 wins against top 25 opponents this year. Harmon may have forced that except for the second efforts there.
I love how Texas bigs run the floor. And they're right there speed for speed with Rory Harmon to clean up that backside. Oldacre and Cunningham, they combine for 18 and 12 a game.
Yep. Oldacre had a nice one against Missouri State, 15 points the other night. They probably should have gone to her more frequently, Vic Schaefer thought. 9 to shoot here. On the move long, and take it away.
You don't dance with that ball against Texas. You do, you turn it over.
Harmon to Sidbury, lays it in. A great break.
Yeah, Kelly's got to take one here. I talk about avoiding the knockout punch, and he can feel it coming. They're not only on the ropes right now, they're a little bit stunned. This Texas defense, they will be in the second half alone. Remember, that's a Michigan team back in November. A 3-point loss to UConn, the closest the Huskies have been pushed all year. Well, that could be one heck of a 1 versus 2 if Texas and Michigan were to meet in the finals of that regional.
Well, Kelly Graves with a good timeout for Oregon. This is starting to slip. And they come out of it with Kane at the head of the key. Bell trying to get it to Jacobs, interrupted by Sidbury. Shot clock at 9.
You've got to own your spot against Texas offensively.
So quick. Fiso will draw the foul. Harmon commits the personal. Point guard against point guard. On the topic of point guards, Kelly Graves has had some great ones, hasn't he?
Some of the best. Courtney Vandersloot, All-American when he had her at Gonzaga. And, of course, Sabrina Ionescu, you can call her a point guard. She's just a baller as well. But he will tell you that this Fiso young lady is the best point guard in the country, regardless of stats. She does so much for Kelly Graves. And I thought it was interesting, Kelly told us today that he's 6 shy of coaching a game in every state in the United States.
Yes.
He's at 40, what did the math be, Jimmy? 44?
44.
He needs 6 more, and most of them are up in the Northeast.
And next year, he's got a game at Maine.
So we're down to 45.
He'll check that one off.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stat. He's got to get New Hampshire and Vermont in there. He's a big Sox fan, big Red Sox fan. So some of us in this booth just adore him already. Booker up top for Sidbury.
It's an Oregon team that they track defensive disruptions, and they have not had enough of them so far in this game.
Cunningham couldn't get it to go. Fiso, a rocket out of there, but she decides not to go all the way to the tin. Jacobs will fire. That one will roll away.
Or the ones you have to make against Texas. Wide open 3 in transition and rhythm.
And of course, a major story in the men's tournament. The Texas Longhorn men's team, which has already won 3 games in the NCAA tournament, had to win the play-in and then beat Gonzaga. And it has been an amazing story. Don't call them Cinderella, though.
No, not at all.
This is a campus of about 50,000 students.
Sean Miller's team has won 3 games in 5 days to advance to the Sweet 16.
Right.
I saw them a lot this year. Well, the Boca Tide is Tremont Mark, Jordan Pope.
Booker got a good look and tipped out of play. It'll go the other way.
I just think it's interesting, Obi, watching Oregon defensively. No, whether it's a 1-3-1 or a 3-2 or 2-3. They are completely backing off of perimeter kids, putting multiple bodies on the inside.
The NCAA women.
And again, that's unlimited, the number of times you can appeal in the women's game. But once you run out of timeouts, if it's not successful, then you're accessed team technical foul.
So under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Katie Fiso trying to ignite the Ducks again. They got off to a great start here tonight. Tahina inside, can't finish the lay-in. Harmon hit the deck, but she's up quickly. Here's Booker working on an 18-point game.
Good job by Oregon to get back, though, and build a wall. Madison saw 3 black jerseys waiting on her around that logo area.
Bump up top, Sidbury trying to get inside to a big, but knocked away.
I mean, Oregon goes drop coverage on that ball screen. They just set their big in front of the rim and disrupting Texas.
Jacobs flying in, couldn't lay it in, and a tie up here. And it'll stay on this end with 4:13 left in the quarter. And Oregon has gone about 4 minutes since their last field goal. Fiso to check it in.
And normally when they go into a drought, the Ducks go to 2 in black. And here she goes to work.
Jacobs way downtown. And airmailed that one, so back over to Texas it goes.
You've got to make Texas work defensively. What do I mean by that, Obi? That ball's got to get side to side, maybe to the third part of the floor. Kelly Graves talked to his young ladies about that today. I know Texas is good defensively, but let's don't bail them out and guard ourselves. Move that ball side to side. See if we can get a breakdown.
Now, Brianna Preston, a 5'9" sophomore, running the point here for Texas. And she is an absolute rocket. Really exciting player. Look at that quick step. Can't finish it. And a whistle on the line, so to stay right here with the Longhorns.
Yeah, Stara Tahina did not establish herself back on the floor. This young lady, Brianna Preston, Vic Schaefer will tell you the fastest point guard he's ever had. He's had some great point guards. I played against him when he was at Mississippi State. But this kid is electric off the bounce, talking about 1 in white in this far corner.
Harmon swings for a lag. Crump, a 6'1" freshman. Trying to get inside. Nice little turnaround, but no. Sidbury with a rebound. Zips the pass underneath.
That's on Oregon. They had all those jerseys in the lane area of the floor, and nobody checked off.
So Cunningham makes it 38-27. Back up to 11 here for Texas. And another turnover by the Ducks. Crump in the open floor. Harmon open for a triple. Got it.
She's one of those kids who just makes winning shots. That's just her 11th made three on the year. But I trust her, especially late games, man. That kid's got guts in all parts of her ball game.
Well, trouble spot, but Fiso can't deliver. But it danced off the rim. Preston pulls up. Rebound swatted and a foul here against Texas.
Obi, some kids are going to be harder to knock out of the tournament than others. And I think Roy Harmon is going to be on that list of young ladies going to be almost impossible to knock out. We talked about not only she's trying to extend her season, she's trying to extend her career as a Texas Longhorn. Vic Schaefer spent a lot of Mississippi State's money recruiting her because he started recruiting her when he was the head coach of the Bulldogs in Starkville, making those trips to Houston, and it has certainly paid off because they have a bond that's uncommon between a head coach and a point guard.
Yeah, they really do. Vic has said, she has made me a better father, husband, and coach.
Yeah. Just
by knowing her and having her in the program. You cannot underestimate her value to this team and the success at Texas. Long drives it, flips it up and in.
She's not as fast as Fiso, but she's right there behind her, talking about 14 in black. And those two kids get going downhill, they can stay in this game.
41-29, approaching 2 minutes before halftime. Harmon tried to flip that underneath, but a holding foul with 2:03 remaining.
Now, Roy Harmon is Texas' all-time assists and steals leader, and they've done a great job, not good, of promoting her record-breaking. There's actually a record inside of that record album, but man, Roy Harmon has given everything she has. She has her undergraduate in applied movement science. That fits her well, because she understands movement science at a high level, right?
A little bit, double fake, couldn't get the shot off. By the way, no music on that album inside that sleeve. It's a promotional thing. We think it might be the Beatles' White Album. As Crump knocks it down. Elia Crump with the three.
They just have a knack, right, Texas?
Harmon with the theft. And lost it out of play.
Remember, only 4 made three-point shots per game for Texas all season long. But Vic Schaefer continues to feed confidence to his kids. When you got him, you take him. And I think Crump is going to be one of the next great stars here. The number 5 kid in last year's ESPN Top 100 out of Minnetonka, Minnesota.
So a 15-point lead for Texas as they close in on halftime. Regional 3, Fort Worth, round number 2, and a whistle with 1:35 to go.
This has been kind of a steady body blow after body blow by Texas, right? Trying to knock this Oregon team down on the mat in this first half.
Cunningham with a foul. They have been doing that to people all year long. UCLA has lost 1 game all season. That was to this Texas team.
They've also beaten one of the other number 1 seeds, South Carolina, by 17 in the SEC Finals.
Yeah.
Built to go the distance.
Stolen away by Preston. Preston on the attack, and a block by Fiso.
What a play by Fiso. First of all, to have the foot speed to stay up with it.
In the corner, the long one coming, and too strong. Preston always looking to push the tempo. And a foul, a whistle anyway, before anything else happened at 1:11 to go. And no foul, but Fiso was bleeding.
It may have happened on that block. There was some contact, inadvertent.
So needing to get that attended to quickly. Let's see if it happened right here.
Yeah, it could have been the elbow going up. And there's just not a lot there, but it happened somewhere.
So she will quickly check back in after being attended to, and
they're not going to let her. Yeah, they're not going to let her come back in on this dead ball.
Long coming over to check on her. And perhaps on that block shot, that terrific block, is where she caught The bloody nose.
I mean, that's the only play that we've seen that has the possibility.
Appears to be all right.
Now in Texas, she appears to be all right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right. Madison Booker kind of quiet the last few minutes after a tremendous 18-point start.
And if you're Oregon, just try to win this last minute and hang in this game, going into the locker room. Cannot have turnover possessions right now, though.
Muhammad off the dribble. Back to Ari Long. Long looking for an opening. Yes.
What a job. Good job by Oldacre to come out in the ball screen coverage, knock her out. But as soon as Oldacre dove out of it, she kept her bounce alive. That's a big basket. Again, can they close out this half and give themselves some life heading into the locker room, talking about Oregon.
8 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Booker rounding the corner and almost made the shot. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
She is something else. Now, after Friday's games, I went for a jog across campus. About 50 minutes after game time, Madison was standing out in front of the Moody Center talking to some fans. Still had her uniform on, but just taking all the time in the world for anyone. The smile is infectious. Loves the game. She is a humble star. There's not enough of them around. Big 12 Player of the Year as a freshman, the first to ever do it in this league, in the Big 12, now in the SEC.
Frankly, we could have put up another couple of pages of what she has done in her career. Junior from Mississippi. 31 against Ole Miss at 28 against Missouri. And her second foul shot here. Give her 19 in the first half. Bisso's back in. And now so too is Sophia Bell for Kelly Graves. Booker making 7 out of 11. She's added 3 rebounds. 22.8 to go before the break. And Bisso bloodied but unbowed across midcourt. Taking a look at the clock, it's down to 10. Calling for a screen, trying to get beyond Harmon. Down to 3 seconds. Gets the pass, a second pass. Williams, yes! Wow. Right at the horn.
I talked about Oregon winning the last minute, and they shot from just outside that bottom of that 3-2 zone.
Now the pair of the Texas All-Americans, Booker and Harmon, have scored or assisted on 33 of the 45 points. Harmon with 5 assists and 5 steals. Dumping it downstairs. A quick look underneath, but Sidbury could not connect. She'll get it back as they will reload. Booker. Bounce speed for Harmon. One All-American to another.
How about Rory Harmon? 5'3", 5'4", gets along that baseline, operating out of the dunker spot, normally where you set your starting post player, but just a knack. Talking about 3 and wide on both ends.
Katie Bisso with it. 11 points in the first half. Probably needs to have the best game of her career to bring them back here tonight, especially on this floor. Long with the dribble drive, and no. And Harmon coming away with it. Texas, 43 consecutive home wins coming into play tonight. Booker with a little follow away. What a great touch.
That move is almost unguardable because she's so good at creating contact but not fouling and stepping off the pressure. High release.
That's her shot. She's going to draw the foul. Back to that move a moment ago.
Well, Madison Booker, a power guard, just with that nudge. It's not quite enough to get a whistle on the play, but it is enough for this young lady to get separation. Drive it, boom, a little contact, doesn't extend the arm, legal play, steps back, rise and fire. Just her dad, Carlos, one of the top shot blockers in the history of Southern Miss basketball. TY.
Cunningham with a foul. Bisso with a rare miss. She had some trouble at the foul line the other night, 78%. She was at 82% coming into the tournament. Makes that one.
Yeah, Oregon out of that zone now, playing man-to-man, and can they stay in front of the basketball?
Can they stop this outstanding player? Booker with a miss. One and done there. Fiso. Guarded by Jordan Lee, who had some foul trouble. Sat a great deal in the first half. Picked up a couple of fast ones. Underway here in the third. Ari Long back for Jacobs. Jacobs tried to make a move, lost control of it. Shot clock's at 5 for the Ducks. Back for Jacobs. Quick trigger, but no. And another rebound for Booker.
No offense ran by Oregon on that possession. Just fighting for their life to make a pass.
Boy, look at how quickly Harmon got to the other end. She missed it, but drew the foul.
Yeah. Now, this is a Texas team that made it all the way to the Final Four last year, OB, and she was never quite 100% coming off of that knee surgery 2 years ago. But, boy, she is back now with a vengeance.
Fiso with the foul at first. Harmon at the foul line, 75%. Just moved on to the top 10 all-time in assists in NCAA Division I. Also an All-American.
She's the type of kid, I said it Friday, that she doesn't pick you up 94 feet. She picks you up at the airport, the bus stop, wherever you first get to town. And you know this is an emotional day for her, but you focus on the 40 minutes and worry about the emotions afterwards.
Jump shot out of the corner, airmailed. Here's Lee.
Money.
Got that one. Well, that's how you do that.
Yeah, that entire play is money for Texas. Roy Harmon with the initial push. And Texas, they run their shooters to those deep corners, flatten out the defense. Boy, Roy Harmon has a great feel around her.
Fiso gets it off for Etute. No. And this is a real danger zone for the Oregon Ducks. So many opponents for Texas have found themselves right here. It's Booker off the front of the iron. Rebound battle for it. A great job there by Cunningham to come away with it. 2 players on her.
With all the good work Oregon did to close out the first half, they've given it back in the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Harmon off the fancy dribble and can't connect. Booker tried to keep it alive. And a foul. And Madison Booker wanted a tie-up on that, but instead a whistle and a personal foul.
It'll be the speed that Texas brings that ball in their conversion offense. It starts with Roy Harmon, and look at Jordan Lee already sitting there out in front of the play. We know Roy Harmon's got some jets about her, but Jordan Lee, a former track star herself in high school, finds that far corner, the rise and release. 68 made threes on the year now for Jordan Lee. What did Jordan tell us? She was the 1,600 and the 800-meter state champion out of Stockton, California.
She also ran the mile in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. Heck of an athlete. And a foul against Texas. Crowd doesn't like it as Etute hit the deck. And a freshman to shoot. And a foul on Cunningham, the 6'4" junior.
When Vic Schaefer got this job, there's 1,000 season ticket holders. It's now grown to 6,000.
Now, I'm not sure that's a foul, but you've got some big and strong players for Texas. Sometimes those calls are going against them, no matter what. 6:31 to go.
This young lady on the free throw line will be the best offensive rebounder percentage-wise in the country at 21%. That's a good number.
Attendance tonight, 8,981. Packing the Moody Center for the last home game of the year for Texas, and hopeful of moving on to Fort Worth, 3 hours north. And the Sweet 16, Oregon hoping for a magnificent comeback here. Booker ran right into her screen. Boy, determined to get that shot. Hit it, and a foul.
That's what one of the best players in the country can do to you. Just go get you a bucket. Because she had to fight, man, to come off that ball screen. Oregon's defense was really good. She's just better. If she comes off that ball screen, sidesteps for that bounce, takes the hit. And I said it in the first half, there will be a number 35 jersey hanging up when she is finished to join Kevin Durant's 35 jersey on the men's side here in the Moody Center.
Been a great number for the University of Texas. And she honors it so well. She has had a great night. Her 15th 20 or more point game this season, 15 of them. Off the side of the backboard, here comes Lee out of the pack with it. They'll stay on this end. Booker with 24 points and 5 rebounds plus 2 assists and a couple of steals.
Well, talking to her prior to the game, she understands that now's the time for her to start hunting shots more than she has in the regular season. Only averaged 13 shots a game in the regular season, already 15 in this ball game, and that's a good sign for Vic Schaefer's team.
So Texas by 20. Tute bouncing inside. Olaker did a good job staying home and playing good tough defense. Out of the packet, Tute comes from behind to steal it. Katie Fiso. Long gets a look and buries it.
Yeah, she will make you pay. That's one of the few times in transition defense, Texas, they don't talk early, loud, and constant. They don't get matched up. Long steps into a rhythm 3.
Gets 7 points, 7 rebounds, too, for the 6-foot junior out of California. Booker finds Harmon. She'll zip it here to Sidbury and drains it. Great ball movement there.
No doubt. How about Booker Madison? Drive to the right side. Feels where Harmon is, and Harmon knows exactly where she's going with it before she ever catches it herself.
Fiso. Out of the corner. The jumper won't go for Jacobs. On the run, Lee beats everybody to the other end.
That's that former state champion in track right there, getting out in front.
Fiso trying to return the favor. Hisa Tute, and an offensive foul.
Vic Schaefer challenged his kids to have an edge today. We didn't have it for 40 minutes against Missouri State. Well, they've had it today, and that's that speed. Texas is such a good passing team. They throw strikes, and watch this one. Strike, boom. Strike, boom. Bucket, bottom. Texas rolling as a 1 seed in Austin on their home floor. On a team right now, this version of Texas can win the entire thing. I say that. Texas is shooting 71% from the three-point line in this game. Over the last 5 games, they've been over 40% from 3. If those numbers continue, I have no problem with saying this is the favorite going forward. The physicality they have defensively, Kelly Graves was concerned with it. If you're going to knock off a team like UConn, you've got to be physical on the defensive end, and this Texas team certainly is it.
You sure are. They can flat play defense. They score 85 points a game, so that's taken care of. But the defense holding opponents to 57. 25 times they've held an opponent to single digits in a quarter scoring. Amazing. Shot clock down to 5 for Fiso. Got the shot up there. Harmon picks the rebound. So late into the third, and Texas has taken a stranglehold on this one.
They've got everything. They've got, in my opinion, an All-American point guard, whether she's named it or not, in Harmon, an All-American in Madison Booker, post play. They've got it all, and they've been there before. There's a lot to say about that in this tournament as well.
26 points for Booker. The last Texas player with 25 or more in an NCAA tournament game was way back in 05. Tiffany Jackson dropped 30. And you could tell Madison Booker came out with a different look in her eye than we saw on Friday. She had a good steady game, 14 points, 12 rebounds, but this is different tonight.
Well, they call her Book, and you can book them to advance to Fort Worth. It looks like with 3:08 to go. I know we're just in the third quarter. But what she has learned, when I was talking to her, when I went on that campus run on Friday, she talked about her voice growing this year and understanding the importance of her voice. Her voice pointing to others. And she was a quiet kid when I was here 2 years ago for the NCAA as a freshman. Just didn't quite have the confidence and the strength of her own words, but man, has she grown in that area.
Well, I saw her before the game. She came over and said, you know, what's made all the difference for me tonight is I ran into Jimmy Dykes on campus, and, you know, he's inspired me even more. Wanted to make sure he got a nice pair of shoes, too, to say thanks.
I put my order in. She got that NIL deal working with Kevin Durant. I did put my order in.
Harmon Looking inside, looking to penetrate, pull up, pop. Rebound tapped around and controlled by the Ducks. Oregon to 23-12. They knocked out Virginia Tech here Friday by 10 points and holding them to 32% shooting. But well, Texas has such a high-powered offense, and very, very tough to do that against a team of this caliber, against the #1 seed here and the #3 team in the country.
The 7th NCAA tournament appearance in the past 10 years under Kelly Graves. And the challenge for this Oregon team now is to improve that seed line where they don't have to go on the road and face a 1 seed on their home floor. And we were talking with Kelly about that earlier today, a guy who's always been around it for a long time, right? St. Mary's 3 years, then Gonzaga 14 years. Coached two of the all-time greats of Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot.
Yeah, he said some great players, great teams. Fiso, that's going to be a charge against Oregon, but Kelly taking teams to the Final Four one time, 3 Elite Eights. Was hopeful of going to a 5th Sweet 16 tonight.
It is ridiculously hard to do what Rory Harmon just did, to get back in front of that basketball, establish legal guarding position. She has a heart for defense as strong as anybody in this tournament. Talking about 3 in white for Texas. Their 39th charge taken this season.
So that'll put Judd at the line. Ashton Judd, senior from Missouri, to shoot 2. She played 3 years in Missouri before transferring to Texas. She came here because she wanted to compete for a national championship.
Well, she was a 1,000-point scorer in her time at Texas. This is a good player. And she brings just a competitive fire about her. Tough kid.
Lee, that barely got to the iron. Fiso wants to push it. She'll jump inside. She's had a tough third quarter. Out of play it goes. They'll keep it here with 2:11 to go in the third.
We talked about her on Friday. One of the stories in this women's tournament that has certainly captured our heart. She lost both her dad and her grandfather last year. Katie Fiso did. Joseph, her dad, was her first trainer and really grew and fell in love with the game of basketball and has been through an awful lot for a young lady, right, at her age.
She has. It was just 6 weeks after her dad died. Her grandfather passed away. On the run out, Lee. And Texas still pushing it at a very high level, defensively in particular. Booker has been magnificent tonight with 26. And we're not out of the third quarter. She has added 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And she's added on to that and looking for a 3-point play.
That is fantastic. No one
away with 18 in the first. And this would be for her 29th point if she can make this.
It's such a high IQ play to dribble the ball literally all the way around from one side of the floor to the other to get on that slot where those gaps look really good to kids that can get downhill.
Now this is a very good Oregon team. But Texas is laying on it here in the third quarter. Back up top. Matute dishing down low. Good ball movement for the basket by Muhammad.
Spent 2 years at Texas, part of that 20 starts on their Elite 18 back in 2024.
So 29 points for the All-American Madison Booker. She's going to take a long one. It's her night. This night belongs to Madison Booker. There is no doubt about that. 32 points, that is a new career high. And at the very end of the third quarter tonight in Austin. What a performance by the 6'1" junior. She has been absolutely sensational. Long with a miss. And a foul on the deck, 22.5 seconds before the end of the third quarter.
This version of Madison Booker and this version of Texas, they are going to be a serious problem for anyone on their path to Phoenix and beyond. And Madison Booker, again, she came in today, Obi, only making 21 threes on the year, but This is a Texas team that's starting to shoot the ball well over the last 5 games, and she's been a part of it. That number increased over 40% over the last 5. The great ones know when it's time to step up, and this is a great one.
Tute, the freshman out of Luxembourg, to shoot again. And that'll roll off the 10.
What a third quarter performance, right, by Texas.
Wow.
A 12-point game, if I remember right, at halftime. And
Booker beyond the three-point arc. Down to 1 to get off a shot, and that's going to fall. Right at the buzzer. Preston gets it to go. And
mattiness here in Austin, Texas, is what it's supposed to look like. And boy, right here in front of us, she has absolutely delivered. That game coming up next, Oklahoma. The freshman point guard, been watching her a lot this year. Leah Chavez, 18 points, leads the Sooners in scoring. Tough cover for a young kid.
Well, we are underway in the final quarter. Almost 9,000 crammed into the Moody Center here tonight. A whistle and a foul, and eager to send off their Texas Longhorns, who they just adore, with another home win. 43 consecutive home wins, tying the longest streak in program history, so they can break that tonight. And one likes their chances. Booker going airborne. She'll draw the foul. And back to the line. 32 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. What else can you do? She really showed up here. You and I both noticed that when the game got underway, with a special look in her eye, like this night was going to belong to the Texas Longhorns, and she was going to put her name into the record book. Just felt special. And now the most points in program history in an NCAA tournament game. Give her 34.
78 steals on the year, so she competes on the defensive end as well. Talked about the growth of her voice, the growth of her game.
Near turnover, kick to the corner. Kane with the shot will knock that down.
Oregon just needed more of those in this game and cut down on the turnovers. Oregon 13 turnovers in this game. Not good.
Good job by Long to free that. Off to Kane. Another triple coming. But that didn't touch a thing, and out it goes. Now, Kelly Gray's very confident. He has a terrific team next year. Strong recruiting class. He's got some great players coming back, certainly, like Katie Fiso, who's only a sophomore. She's still very young.
Well, and Kelly will tell you that they are not a plug-and-play program. They're not heavy into the portal and transfers. They thrive on player development. And he's got good ones, like you said, coming back. And not one of their better players is Elisa Mevius. We were watching her work out today. ACL surgery, probably worth another 3 or 4 wins for Oregon if she played all year.
Outstanding. 36 points for Booker. Kane again, and the second consecutive air ball.
And one of the top performances in this women's tournament so far we're watching right now, right? Jazzy Davidson, the freshman for Southern Cal, she went for 31 yesterday. Audie Crooks in a loss to Iowa State. We love her game, had 37 in a losing effort.
Lee steps back. Yes, that'll rattle in. Another assist, by the way, for Madison Booker.
I'm just telling you that 4 3-point shots made per game, dismiss that when you start scouting Texas and look at their last 5 games. Shooting it at a championship level.
Jacobs got a good look, couldn't knock it down. Texas up to 80. They average 85. So they can run you right off the floor. They've done to most of their opponents exactly that this year. Trying to go to 33-3. Lee again, mid-range, and it spins in. It danced on that rim, but fell through.
The Ducks have continually put 4 or 5 jerseys in the paint. But Texas has been just stronger, more determined to go ahead and take the ball right at the heart of that Kelly Gray. The kid hunting shots, and that's what we're looking at. She's a 2-point make away from Most points in a single game so far in this tournament.
And stolen away by Preston. Preston trying to finish it off, can't do it. But she had a foul on the play. Tute gives it up. Williams can't connect. Rebound free comes to Madison Booker. Everything has come to her tonight. She has absolutely flourished here in Austin. That will go against Texas, a foul.
Well, Madison Booker can also put fouls on you defensively. She's been fouled 6 times in this game, the most of any player in this game.
Under 7 to go here in this round 2 contest.
Obi, I've been around her enough as a freshman, and now this year there's no entitlement, there's no arrogance. She's best friends with everyone on campus. A huge heart for ball, but a huge heart for people too.
Bissell,
Mississippi
will draw the foul, and she will shoot with 6:37 to go in this game. And for the 6th consecutive year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. We're very, very proud of that. I certainly hope you enjoy all of the games. A couple of really great games today. In this one, you are seeing greatness in Texas against the number 8 seed Oregon.
After this weekend, the quizzes are over and the full tests begin. Certainly Texas has handled both of their quizzes here on their home floor. Remember Friday we were talking about our time with Pat Summitt? I just reflecting back on what I learned from her and watching Vic's team play right now. Pat Summitt told me at a breakfast one time, OB, you don't win games on the road or at home. You win games in the paint, on the glass, and at the free throw line. And that's kind of how Texas is wired. You can throw a zone at them and collapse all you want and not leave the paint, and they continue to get that ball inside. They understand to win in the paint, certainly on the glass, up double figures in this game, and getting to that free throw line. The threes are extra money in the eyes of Vic Schaefer, and it was the same way with Pat Summitt.
Williams at the line. I wonder what you remember most about Coach Summitt, because most people would say it was that stare, that glare that could melt a building. Of course, all the wins, all the championships. Personally, having been around her quite a bit, it was her kindness. It was the softer side of Pat, who would go, hey, you want to come watch our tape with the team? Come sit in. You might learn a couple that would love to have you.
Yeah, come to dinner at my house. I remember going to dinner with her.
Feet underneath Oldacre, and one. She'll head to the line.
A play that Pat Summitt would love right there. Would absolutely love. Seal off that backside, show a target hand. And I talked about Texas, they throw strikes. And look at Jordan out there from the outside, finds Oldacre sealed off on the backside. You can have backside threes and you can have backside post-ups. That's a really good job by Texas to continue to dominate the inside of this game against a defense that has shrunk the floor.
Tilliander into the game for the first time here in Austin for Coach Graves. So Kelly's starting to go to his bench here, given the score, and get some kids in who wouldn't otherwise play with 5:45 left in the game. Tute over Oldacre, and a whistle two on the elbow. 85-48.
Tute is the starting post player for Oregon, and she's barely 6 feet tall, so length has bothered her all year. It's bothered her in this game. This young lady at the free throw line, though, very crafty and a good hand for Oldacre as she checks out. But Tute has hung in there and battled for an undersized kid. 10 rebounds in this game. The length has bothered her scoring, but not her securing those loose ball rebounds.
Well, Vic Schaefer has called this edition of the Longhorns my best offensive team at Texas. He's in year number 6. There's a lot of evidence to support that. It starts with number 35, who has had a brilliant night tonight. 36 points for Madison Booker. If she hits this, and she does, That's the most points anyone scored in this tournament so far. At 38. Most by a player in the tournament. Wriggling free underneath Atute. She's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, no doubt. I said it in the first half. Atute has a 21% offensive rebound rate. That's extremely high, like 16 or 17% is a good number. She's at 21% on the year, and she's only 6 feet tall. Talking about 35 in black.
Lee open for the triple, buries it.
Vic Schaefer was not happy with his guys as they prepared for this tournament coming off the SEC finals. They had bad practices, lost their edge. Well, they have regained it in this game against Oregon.
Well, they've been nailing the threes tonight, not necessarily a forte for the Longhorns. Man, if they get that going too, they're 34% over the course of the year, but 8 out of 11.
73% in this game from the three-point line, and 8 out of 11. They shoot that going forward. I'm going to say it again. This, to me, this is the favorite in the tournament. I know they're not the overall #1 seed. That's UConn and UCLA, but you just watch ball and watch everything that Vic Schaefer has going on both ends. This is a tough out.
The crowd wants him to clear out for Booker. Very unselfishly, she feeds Lee in the corner anyway. 38 points for the Stars. She's 14 to 20. Madison Booker putting on a show worthy of any All-American, which she's been 3 times. A spectacular display before she gets in. And that would be her last home appearance. And Rory Harmon, the tremendous All-American senior point guard, it's her last game at home here as well. Booker, another jump shot. Not this time, she hasn't missed many.
There's that move again, though. Just enough contact by Madison not to get called with a foul, but creates her own separation. Really as good as anybody I've seen in the women's game this year.
Long turns to fire, sweet shot there. Ari Long, she's a junior, so she'll be back for Coach Graves next year too.
They call her Book. They call her Maddie. And there will be T-shirts made up after this one. March Maddiness.
He fires and gets fouled on the play. Just as the chants were beginning to well up here in the arena for Sarah Graves. Harmon has hit the bench. So if we have seen the last of her home minutes, she moves on to Fort Worth, just 3 hours north for the next round. And meanwhile, it's Booker back to the line. She is 8 out of 9 tonight. And now has 39.
Well, what a career and an impact that Rory Harmon has had on this Texas women's basketball team. She talked about her first year. They played at the Urban Event Center called the Drum. There'll be 1,000 people there. You walk in here today, there's got 9,000 people.
Here she comes.
And out goes Madison Booker.
Out of the game. Listen to this crowd.
That performance was one for the ages in March. Wow.
Yeah, I was about to say, for Book, that is one for the books. 40 points. And some performance here tonight. 92 to 57, Texas.
There's a reason why Vic Schaefer started recruiting her when she was going into the 8th grade. You could see it. Some kids just look different. And that describes Madison Booker.
Elia Crump, and she'll draw the foul. 2:38 to go.
We have not had a repeat champion in the women's tournament since UConn back in 2013 through 16. And I know they can make it this year and do it, but this Texas team, they showed back in November, beating UCLA and South Carolina on back-to-back days, that they were the real deal. They've been battle-tested in that SEC. They're playing their best basketball, beat South Carolina by 17 in the SEC tournament finals. Bisso
looking for the bank shot. Will draw the foul. So a great learning experience for Katie Fiso. 15 points, 5 out of 9 shooting it tonight. But a lot of tough sledding against a #1 seed in Texas on their home floor.
Yeah, she's still learning to see the game. And Kelly Graves talked about the great Sabrina Ionescu, who had great eyes, great vision off of ball screens. Her ability, Sabrina's ability to half court off of pick and rolls is something that this young lady's going to study in the offseason, try to take her game to the next level.
Well, Texas still room to get to 100 points. And this NCAA second round tournament game. As Preston will give it up. Carlton on the attack. Rebound free. Judd will scoop it up and toss that one out of play. Vic Schaefer still disgusted by that play. It's like he's down by 30 points.
Yeah, I've known Vic Schaefer for a long time and highly competitive. He's been to that national championship game a couple of times, hasn't won one yet. This probably right there, that team that got knocked out by Kelly Graves back in 2018. He's got a chance, a real chance with this one.
He has a spectacular team. They may not be done tonight. Preston. She will back it out. Lost it on the dribble. Tied up. Possession arrow will keep it here for Texas.
I wonder the thoughts of Rory Harmon sitting over there right now. All-time great point guard to play here at Texas, and talked to us before the ball game about the emotions of today and what Vic Schaefer has meant to her. And Vic will tell you that that young lady made Vic Schaefer a better husband, a better dad, the whole bit, as Sarah Graves comes in. A lot of good stuff right now for this Texas women's program. They are all about each other, all the way down to Sarah Graves, #6, who's made 8 shots all year long.
The senior out of Keller, Texas, and immensely popular. The inbound for Carlton to lay it in.
Sarah Graves has enough time to get off 2 or 3 shots, though.
She's a finance major. They gave her a scholarship a couple of years ago. Really talented artist. She's a gifted painter. A lot of things she can do. She lights up this crowd when she's here.
You know, Vic's gonna try to get her a look. Here she comes off the pin down, let it fly.
And hit it!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She is the ultimate closer in the women's game.
Second game in a row here. She's come off the bench and nailed a shot, and this place has exploded. And Madison, who has 40.
They are all about the right things, this Texas team. And Graves just comes off the pin down on the baseline. She's a very good shooter, like 9 out of 18 on the year. And no one happier than Madison Booker, the All-American. And Vic Schaefer does the right thing. He puts Rory Harmon back in and will take her back out at the next dead ball to give her what she deserves in front of this crowd.
Well, 56 seconds to go.
They have to call a timeout to do it,
yeah.
But he will.
Tahina backs away for a triple. Can't nail that. And it's off to Harmon. And just about everybody in the building standing. Certainly everybody wearing burnt orange. And now Harmon comes out. And wants to get her out. And here she comes. He's meant so much to this program. Rory Harmon. There's the hug. And Vic keeping her on the floor to take in this moment. Well, those two so close. His first recruit here at Texas. What a bond. A couple of great moments at the end of this one. Here's Graves again. Give her a couple more.
He needs to play her more. I'll tell you.
They get to 100.
Her career high was 4 points, and she's just tied it.
So everybody in a Texas uniform and everybody in the building, huge smiles. The road to the Final Four is wide open, and for the Texas Longhorns, the next stop is Fort Worth and the Sweet 16. Your final score tonight, Texas 100, Oregon 58. Madison Booker, a performance for the age